Hi everyone, this is Francisco, and I am just here in my bedroom, and I just took a shower. I just got done taking a shower. I know I shared the way that I paint up the restroom, right? And honestly, I've been watching some YouTube videos regarding some guy that makes these natural aquariums for live plants, and he even places animals in there in these aquariums. But I was thinking as I was taking a shower how awesome it would be if there is a real something going on here that was real for the restroom, where we could have plants and maybe some form of animal. But I'm thinking that one side of the glass, like over here, or I don't know, it'll be created in such a way where it could house like a reptile or some type of animal. And not just that, but pushing the walls even further back would be nice. Maybe, at least a foot more in. So, it'll give it that base if it was pushed back, these walls. And then more of that stuff would be attractive to people, and mainly it will be like how people pimp out their front yards. That's what this will be. But in this case, it will be someone pimping out their restroom with nature and stuff like that. I think that would be a super cool challenge for all of us. Someone creating like a hashtag, or I don't know if people are already doing that type of stuff, but I mean, I've even thought so much about it as I was taking a shower that I was thinking, well, what if the showers were the same way? And what if the depth was different for everyone? I mean, think about it. Imagine your shower right here, and it having like a reptile or some form of habitat on the other side of the glass. Maybe even if you had some fish at the very bottom. So I'm talking about like a whole new room over here, and basically like a closet, and then, or like a room, but it will have the plants, it will have maybe like a waterfall, and I can provide the link from this guy, or just look at his YouTube video again right now when I go to my room. But just think about that. I put these plants here, these artificial plants, and a lot of people didn't really think like artificial grass was going to kick off, and it actually has. A lot of people have it, it's really good. But, outside of the house, it's a entirely different habitat that, a lot of us just can't control or handle. Right here we have the lighting. I mean, think about it. It has 4 different lights. Like, we could start using smart bulbs, and stuff like that to light the plants at night. Maybe like there's different types of lighting. There's actually a light that kills bacteria and stuff like that. So imagine that being on, during the night or something like that when everyone's asleep, and then it'll act like a nightlight like this. But instead it will be killing bacteria, bad bacteria that's not good for us, stuff like that. Um, so there's a lot of possibilities, a lot of things that people can do. I know that some mirrors are touchscreen now. There's actually a video game like that. Or no, it was an exercise mirror. I'm sorry. It was an exercise mirror, and it's like the size of this door probably. I'm thinking. And what it is doing is like it monitors people who work out, and it basically reveals that information. It reveals that information, and it uploads it to the user who's working out and stuff like that. So we know that some mirrors are digital. So, I mean, imagine that plus your garden, your miniature garden right here. Something beautiful. And then at the same time, you have the sink here, you have your water. And not just that, but with technology, electricity, and since we are evolving and growing, pretty soon, probably the cost of electricity will go down, where more people can afford stuff like this that I'm talking about. Afford electrical vehicles, afford, basically stuff that costs money, real money to charge, real electricity to charge. So I'm thinking not just that, but imagine this, being kind of like a living organism, imagine it taking care of itself, that type of, concept. So that would be super cool. Like it will have a control, system. But at the same time, there's a sink. So whatever water comes down here, it could probably go in there, or it can run off on the side. There's a lot of different possibilities. But anyways, if that wasn't enough, I've also thought of, let me put my phone down for a second here. I've even thought of some cages where they could be inside of the house. Imagine, like, for instance, I talked about the restroom having, maybe like a garden snake on a big surface, or a big tarantula, something where as you're taking a shower, you feel nature, you're looking at nature, something beautiful like that, right? And not just that, but I thought of, the animal, living quarters, like pretty much like we humans, we set aside rooms for people. Oh, this is your room, this is your room, this is your room. We have the garage over here, we have the closets over here, we have the kitchen, we have the dining room. Well, I thought about a new one for animals. Imagine if you had one for dogs. Some people have gyms. They have all the gear for working out at the gyms, like they have their own gym, like their own gym rooms, right? So imagine having like a living quarters for just your dog or just your cat. And these are not just, ordinary type of dog breeds and cat breeds. I'm talking about some rare, almost extinct type of, living quarters for your pet, So I see like the dog area where maybe there's windows. It could be designed differently, right? It doesn't have to be what one person thinks. It could be these dog rooms and reptile rooms. It's pretty much like having a real zoo inside a building, like inside the mall, that type of thing. Imagine going to the mall, but it's a zoo. The animals are not kept outside, that type of thing. Then the animals would be able to be, well, anyways, I'll just leave it at that. But anyway, I seen something like that where the dog will even have its own, the shower. So if you bust out the water hose, you can spray, you can mop, you can put hardwood floors, you can put whatever you want. I mean, I'm talking about like a bedroom, like walking into a bedroom, 20 by 20 area inside of your home. And for some people, it's not even that. For some people, it's, for some people, it's like lizards or other type of, reptiles and stuff like that, right? Birds. Birds is another great example for a room inside of a home, because that would be like your own greenhouse inside of your house. Basically, the room will be climate controlled, pretty much like the restroom, to minimize a lot of moisture and stuff like that. But at the same time, you'll be able to walk in there and it will be your space. It's like walking into a library, right? You walk into a library or your library room and, that's your place where you get away or whatever, right? So, anyways, wow, so it was just a domino effect right now. Everything just collapsed. And then the little lid, the solar light fell. So it's on. Clicked on the on button. Might as well, since I had to pick it up off the ground, might as well keep it on for a little bit, if I can. Looks like, the light is actually turning it off. Oh shoot, my bad. My little solar light here. Anyways, so I just wanted to, record this video, talk about that, these ideas. Obviously, they don't technically have to be done inside of a house. Imagine this idea not being done inside of a home, but inside of businesses, inside of restaurants, inside of the mall. And then instead of just having a gardener, you'll have a gardener who will go into your business and tend your plants and stuff like that. For the homeowners as well, for restaurants as well, it will just be like a gardening type of, especially if you're in a shopping center, right? You don't really have any grow room whatsoever. Everything is commercial. Everything is by code. It's like living in, somewhere where you have to pay, what's the word? HOA, I think it is. HOA. The monthly fees just to maintain the property that, where people are renting or whatever. Well, anyways, it's pretty much like that. But I just wanted to you know, share a little bit. I think that there's just too much to cover, and I should probably get to bed, honestly. But this is just an idea that I got because I was watching that YouTube channel, and I can actually look up the YouTube channel really quickly to share the username. Well, this thing is playing stuff when it shouldn't, especially as I'm recording, because I've been flagged before when trying to upload a video because I was playing YouTube music in the background or whatever. It's crazy. But anyway, I'm subscribed to his channel. So, where the heck do I go for that? Oh, subscriptions. Ha, I found it. So it's called Serpa Design. SERPA Design. Serpa Design. And basically they're just like aquariums, and they're super cool though. They're freaking badass. Because they're super cool and badass to me. Ow! I just hurt myself. I scratched my cut on my knee that I got from shaving. But anyways, what they're cool, the part that I like about, these creations from this YouTuber is the fact that he introduces real life plants, real animals, real nature elements of Mother Earth, and then he introduces water, which is our means of our main source of life here on Earth. And he introduces that. I mean, they're super amazing. I mean, I can just see a bigger one with birds, maybe some elephants, maybe some zebras, and them being like in a real room, like a shopping mall. And imagine it being like a zoo, like I was talking about. Like, that would be super cool, because it won't be the same as going to the zoo outdoors. Because, these workers, these people who run the zoo organizations, they have to deal heavily with Earth's natural weather patterns, and they're outside in the elements. So any type of landscaping or whatever they do, won't be that good. And I'm thinking a lot of this stuff can be, artificial, to where, people can actually go in there, and clean the crap out of, the floor. And now we probably don't even have to send real people in there, to clean the floor. just like the robo vacuums. The robo vacuums, they clean tile, hardwood floors, carpets. So we could even create some of these machines to clean their environment, basically cleaning the floor, because that's all it really is. But at the same time, you know, creating something beautiful, like pretty much like live art, living art, like a picture frame, like this. And there's a bird, there's a bird right there. Something like that. Where when someone looks, they'll be drawn to it. Have you ever been in a room or in a house and you see a picture, but you quickly lose interest of it? You look away and then you're over here looking at other things, right? But imagine, these rooms, basically it'll be like the shopping malls. It'll be a piece of glass. And, people being able to look at that. Kind of like the movie Jurassic Park. When they go on the back where the, I don't know, like these reptiles, right? Are. And so when they're back there, they're like on this wooden bridge or whatever, and they could feel that rush. And we can feel it as well, because as we're watching the movie, we feel pretty much what they feel or whatever, right? So, it would be a completely different amusement park, because the animals won't be able to go anywhere, because the birds, the plants and everything can be kept alive. And the animals can have their own sections, and it could be a mimication, so like mimicking Mother Earth and the way that these animals can live together or not. But mainly those that can will be introduced to these environments. And if some like to sleep high up in the trees or whatever, then that's the type of group of people that will be focusing on that type of animal within the zoo, monitoring everything and making sure that everything is kept, neat and nice, and the animals protected, is healthy. So obviously we're talking about vets, people who take care of animals, vets, right? Or I forget the word. Anyways, those people will be involved in this project. So that's a job for you guys, because we're talking about all the animals in the world. If I can boldly say, but mainly it would be more of the typical type of animals, some of the highly classified dangerous animals, because people are not, we have a lot more to learn, just put it that way, as humans. So we can get, the wrong interpretation, the wrong story, and technically, talk crap about a certain animal or whatever. But there's all sorts of animals, and Like, and there's all sorts of plants. And not just that, but I've even seen some YouTube videos, some Google images, performing a Google engine search, on the internet, talking about the same type of concept with animals, the same kind of concept with plants that glow with certain types of lightings, different types of lighting. So there's a black light. The black light will actually allow the plant to radiate, like a hue of green or white or different colors, depending on the type of lighting that's being used, right? So, let's say bats, maybe that type of environment for bats, and the whole room will be dark, but it'll still be a room dedicated to these type of animals. So when people go and visit these places, they will be able to have a walkthrough of everything. And a lot of people can be involved. This whole idea, this whole concept can even be added like for Disneyland, Disney World, stuff like that. It honestly can, because the animals are 100%, confined and separated from any human contact, especially if they're not employees. They're just visitors visiting the park or the premises, right? So it's a safer way, to interact with these animals, and there's no, the outside elements, interfering with these rooms of different sceneries and different animals, so people can go and visit them and stuff like that. So basically there will be a big network of people, and not just that, but maybe all the people in the world can go and visit this place that I'm talking about, and not just visit, but imagine them being able to, or them having the ability, the freedom to purchase any type of animal in there, little babies. Let's say, people are breeding, the whole breeding branch of users on the web right now. Imagine you guys being connected in this type of, movement where you can put your own type of animals in these places. Because now I'm not just talking about one. I'm not talking about just one. I'm talking about hundreds, thousands all over the world. Imagine that. And then us learning creative ways to recycle a lot of the stuff, like we do with trash. There's green recycling. Let's say some animals happen to pass away. Well, some other type of animals will still eat them. So nothing goes to waste. Everything is recyclable, and that's basically what we can teach our children, even though I don't have any, is that is the cycle of life. It's just the cycle of life. It happens. It's the cycle of life. But at the same time, it will connect us as humans, and it will connect us to animals. It will keep us in the direction of education and knowing and understanding how to handle and manage these animals that are, within these chambers, within these rooms, not just there, not just in that type of environment, but even outside of all of that. And, we have the internet, nothing is impossible. And so now the people who are breeding them and selling them, that money will be used to support, the facility. So maybe a certain percentage of money, that the business can earn or make from selling an animal, maybe the company will get a certain percentage to keep it activated, to keep it going, because it requires money to make money or whatever. But it would just be like the Jurassic Park indoor park of the whole world. It will make it the inside Jurassic Park in the whole world. And I know there's a lot of that stuff out there. There's fucking zoos. There's you know water aquariums and stuff like that. But I'm talking about something more integrated, more solid. And it will educate us all. It'll keep us, you know, entertained in some type of animal or some type of or different forms of plants, because there's going to be a group of people who just maintain the animals, and a whole entirely different team and people who maintain the plants and stuff like that. And like I said, I was inspired by this guy, Serpa Design. SERPA Design. And I mean, I'm kind of thinking this stuff through, but at the same time, if you look at some of these things, they're just mind boggling. Like, we don't really see that out in nature. Because why? Because what we as human beings like to do, we see something and we're captivated. We're easily captivated. Like, oh my God, like, look at this particular plant or animal out in the forest. So what we tend to do out in the forest or the national parks is we take things or things like that, right? So by it being behind glass and us as humans not being able to have any contact with it, then it can be safeguarded. It can actually be like a museum of these animals in real life form, not a museum where animals don't move. They're just, stuffed. Just looking at you, staring at you, not like that. I'm talking about, and I'm not trying to talk crap. I'm not even going there. I'm just thinking like out loud in a way. And I felt like just sharing this information, with people on the internet so that, who knows, maybe this will be something cool and people maybe, hopefully people will adapt to it or adopt this idea and implement it in real life, because it has to do with money, and we all love to earn money, and we all love to have a good time. So imagine that this will be a great place to go. This right here, this what I'm talking about, will be a great place to go dine with your family, like dine in, eat. Or let's say there's McDonald's, like the mall. There's different shopping places, restaurants and stuff like that people can go to. So even food can be introduced in this idea that I'm talking about. And so, people will be able to, enjoy that and maybe even drink alcohol, obviously like in these restaurants. And, you know, just anything different. And that has to do with nature and stuff. I think it would be super cool. And, like, I can actually see it. I can see it in my mind. And I can see a lot of people, like I said, getting together, making this happen, because it can make a lot of people rich. It can change the game. It's not just that, but it will even include students, field trips, education. These will be, facilities or, places where people who have an interest in learning about a specific animal or plant will be able to go in real life here on Earth, locally. It's kind of like going to a library or a school. It'll be all in one. You know what I mean? So why not? Why not, start off with the best of the best and provide people with the best of the best? And if we can come up with more ideas on top of all this, then that would be even better. That would be awesome. So, for now, I'm just going to, end this video. But really, I know there's like a place at the mall right now, where they sell animals. Well, kind of like that, but, that plus, background themes, something more interactive. And not just that, but that type of stuff will still be there and available. People being able to go to these rooms to look at animals and stuff like that. Different types of rocks, different type of, nature stuff, plants, real life plants, and then being able to sell all this stuff. And it would just be like a mall to us people. So we don't have shit to do. What do we do today? Fuck it. Let's go to the indoor fucking zoo. And I mean, it's history from there, people. And I mean, I think obviously we're attracted to that naturally as human beings, because that's what this whole world is about. We need to reconnect ourselves with nature, with animals. We need to learn how to love each other more, and shit like that. Honestly, I think it's cool. And for a lot of people, everyone has someone who is much younger than them. So it'll be maybe even taking them out to share, to give them some good memories, some good, some good thoughts and fucking, education, teaching them about different things, different animals, different plants. And there will be a lot of interest. I believe it. Because it has to do with money. So now, let's say someone goes to school. Well, their passion could be something about that regarding plants, and not just any type of plant, but a specific type of plant. The same is true for animals. You know what I mean? So this whole idea is business related, and it gets picky. And when it comes to animal doctors and stuff like that, this also includes you, because some animals get sick or whatever. Then obviously they need the people there, who take care of the animals and stuff like that. And students who are learning about performing medical procedures of healing to animals, then that's when they can get in and learn and all that stuff, right? Regarding animals, to keep them healthy, to keep our ecosystem going and functioning, and us learning from all this stuff. But it takes courage, to start something. And it takes education as well, learning. And it requires people watching a ton of videos. It's either that, or we would need the internet to maintain these habitats by itself without any human interaction. But that doesn't mean that the animal will not receive any form of, human interaction. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's more coming, and it's good. And God's doing it all just to bless us as people, So I see that type of stuff coming, and I could foresee it, in other words. And I think a lot of people will love more of this stuff as time goes by. And that's really all for now, people. I just felt like sharing these ideas, this whole trip that I had in my mind. Just everything I explained right now, I was thinking when I was taking a shower. And honestly, I seen a whole bedroom dedicated, walking inside of a mall and having one centerpiece, and is dedicated just for your pet. Imagine that. These type of units can be sold through the indoor zoo that I was just talking about. So, Petco, PetSmart, all that stuff, they can get involved. They could have a whole different branch, a whole different section over here that has to do with that type of stuff. So now if you want to go and buy, you want to go buy dog food, or you want to go buy cat food, fish food, horse food, pig food, you will be going to this place that I'm talking about. Because all these stores are connected. welcome to this shopping center. It has nothing to do with anything else except animals and growing and nature. So, what else is out there? Um, like all these growing potting soils, growing companies, hydroponic stores. Think about all that. All that can be added and squeezed in. And I already talked about, uh, restaurants, fast food restaurants and stuff like that as well. So it's pretty much like going to the mall. It would be like going to the mall, you know, and being able to not only buy whatever is there, but people who own a fish tank, people who own birds, people who own cats, people who own dogs, it will be all connected, people. I mean, talk about looking at life from a different perspective. And honestly, like, I mean, I personally don't have the money, to create any of these, type of, habitats, but they're super cool. Like, oh my God, they just have a way of capturing your attention as a human. Like, it catches your eye. Look at it. There's like a natural waterfall that he created. And he has snakes and different types of animals. He has frogs. He even introduced some Pokemon characters. I believe that he even made himself in his creations. So, oh my God, like, there's so much more. We could even introduce fantasy type of animals, like the Pokemon. Like, imagine that. And then, you know, basically, they can be Pokemon stuff. I don't know. Anyways, but that was like the naturistic type of Pokemons. Not the evil ones, not the scary ones. Yeah, because honestly,